Hi, I'm public speaking coach Milo Shapiro, and welcome to Business Advantage, the show where we focus on an aspect of business that has the potential to give you the advantage. With the cost of installing solar systems way down from years ago and the price of electricity just continuing to go up, a lot of people are finally looking at making use of those rooftops. But the window of time where it pays to do it may be shrinking and closing on us all. My guest today has been a solar consultant for many years and takes great pride in educating ratepayers in what's happening in the energy industry, solar and elsewhere. She's currently working with Smart Solar Design Construction, a San Diego-based company, and she welcomes inquiries at the number shown on the screen. And if you're listening on the audio, that number is 707-771-9770. Kelly Taylor, welcome to Business Advantage, and I'm so glad you can be with us again to answer some of the questions about what is going on.
Hi, Milo. I'm so happy to be with you again. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm so glad we could do this. So, how does solar work overall, and what's the relationship between the utility company and the solar customer?
Thank you. Great question. So when we put solar panels on a home, on most days, all the energy that the home is using is going to be created in those solar panels. In fact, on most of our beautiful sunny days here in San Diego, the solar will actually be creating more energy than what the home is using. And in a very real sense, the home will feed those kilowatts of energy back into the grid, where the utility company will buy them from the homeowner in real time. And when I say in real time, what I mean is whatever rate schedule the home is on at that particular moment in time, whether it's on peak, off peak, winter rate, summer rate, whatever the rate that their neighbor would be getting charged at that moment in time, that's what that customer would be getting paid by SDG&E. And then every month there is a statement that's generated by the utility company. However, there's no bill due. At the end of 12 months time, SDG&E is going to look at all of the credits that the customer has put in, all the charges that have been spent, and they're going to net them against each other. My goal as a system designer is for the customer to have eliminated most, if not all, of their electricity charges. That whole billing mechanism of paying for what is consumed at night and in the rainy weather with the excess generation during the day is known as net metering.
Where we're putting away some of the extra so that we have to draw upon that later. Like in the summer months,
In
we're saving
dollars and
more.
cents, not physically storing it, but in
Right.
a virtual solar bank account, if you will. Yes.
Okay, I like that idea. And just to be really clear, you said SDG&E, but this is also Southern California Edison and PG&E as well.
Yes, that's right. You're a SoCal Edison customer.
Right.
This also affects PG&E as well.
Okay,
Exactly.
great. So you mentioned net metering. I think it'd be helpful if we had a little bit of the history on net metering so we know where we're heading in this interview.
Certainly. Net metering was first introduced in California in 1996. This was, at the time, solar was very, very expensive. And to encourage early adoption, a very favorable net metering program was put into place. We now call it Net Metering 1. This was in place from 1996 to 2016 when we transitioned to Net Metering 2, which is the current version that we're in.
Okay. And before we get into what's changing for 3.0, because I know that's the big focus, can you tell us how net metering 2 works, where we're at?
Certainly. So when we saw the change from net metering 1 to net metering 2, there were some small changes. It wasn't quite as favorable as 1 was. One of the changes we saw was the introduction of something called non-bypassable charges, which is going to range $10 to $20 a month, never more than that for most households. The most impactful change that we saw with net metering 2 was the introduction of time of use rates. For a net metering 2 customer, you have to be on time of use. And what most of us now know is, of course, we have on off peak during the day, and the hours between 4 to 9 are the most expensive time to use the energy. What that means is when we're feeding solar into the grid during the day, you're getting paid that off peak rate less than what you're getting charged. Once the sun goes down in that 4 to 9 period, you're getting charged the on peak rate. And that was the most significant change from net metering to from net metering 1. We are now moving into net metering 3, which is going to be far more significant.
Yeah, I'm aware that there's some big changes coming with net metering 3, and that's why so many people are trying to get in while they still can on net metering 2. What's going to be different in net metering 3?
So net metering 3 is really going to be sweeping changes. For the first time ever, we're not going to have a retail to retail compensation. What I mean by that is currently net metering 2, if you put a kilowatt into the grid, in off peak, but you get paid, you get compensated by the
Right.
utility company at that rate. The same rate as your neighbor would be getting charged. With net metering 3, they're going to be reducing that compensation by up to 75%.
That's a
So
lot.
that means so that means that, if you're spending $1 with the utility company for what you're taking out, you're only going to earn 25 cents for that same kilowatt. You essentially need to put 4 kilowatts into the
Wow.
grid to pay for one that you're taking out right now. So it's going to dramatically change the metrics, and the payback period for going solar.
Wow. So how is that going to affect the payoff for someone choosing to go solar?
So currently, under net metering 2, currently for almost every home that I work with, we see a 3 to 5 year payback time. That means that within 5 years, the solar has completely paid for itself and their money to the good. That's a 20% return on investment, tax free, by the way. Find me anything else that's 20% tax free, and I'm
Yeah.
on it. Once we are net metering 2 is currently available until the April 13th. We have the ability to
Of 23.
grandfather into April 13th of 2023. We can still get customers in and grandfather them in for 20 years under net metering 2, and that's what people want to do.
Yeah, lock that in.
Once we switch to net metering 3, you're going to see that return on investment triple, if not even more
Wow.
so. It's going to just take a whole lot more solar to offset the bill. And another feature is they're going to be limiting how much solar can go on any particular home. So it's going to change dramatically. It may not be worth it to go solar after April 13th.
That's kind of shocking. Why are the utilities doing this? Shouldn't they be doing everything they can to increase solar usage to take demand off the
So
grid?
the utility companies are not trying to end solar. They're just trying to end you and I from owning solar. This is quite frankly, this is just, the SDG&E, PG&E, and Edison are for-profit companies. They are investor owned, and this is all about money. They've spent $40 million in the past couple of years to get this passed. They've succeeded in their endeavor, and this is going to give them the green light. We still have mandates for clean energy in California. We still have, electric vehicle mandates coming. Every new home needs to have solar. We have green energy mandates, and you're going to now see the utility companies are going to have the green light to build, massive solar farms out, east of El Centro to the Arizona border, and build those hundreds of miles of transmission and distribution stations to get it from, the Arizona border to your neighbor's house in San Diego. It costs a whole lot more to get it, to transmit hundreds of miles than it does to go from your house to your neighbor's house. The utility companies make their money in transmission and distribution, not necessarily the electricity charges.
Yeah.
And so what's going to happen is just increased profits. We're going to see rates. The industry experts that, I'm very closely associated with the California Solar and Storage Association, the Solar Rights Alliance. The industry insiders are expecting there to be a huge rate increase for everyone. This is so important because it's not only for a potential solar customer, but we're going to see rate increases across the board for everyone. Say, 5 to 7 years from now, when that infrastructure needs to get paid for, and of course it's the ratepayers who are going to pay for it. So it's pretty significant. What's happening is pretty significant. We've been fighting it in the industry for a long time. But it's here. December 15th, the California Public Utilities Commission made their final decision on a vote 5-0. They voted to approve net metering 3. They're calling it net billing, and implementation is going to take place April 15th. So for anybody who has had the slightest inkling of wanting to go solar, we have until about April 1st to get that contract in order to get the system, in order to get the application submitted to the utility company for that April 13th deadline.
Right. Depending on when people watch this video, that's probably enough time, but they should definitely get in touch with you soon if that's what they want to do. What's the best way for them to reach out to you?
So, of course, my cell number, 707-771-9770. Call or text is great. My company is Smart Solar Design Construction, headquartered in Mira Mesa. Certainly, you can go onto our website, but also just reach out to me through my email, ktaylor@smartsolarsocal.com. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions about net metering. If someone has an existing system, if somebody wants to add on or is looking at getting into a new system, be very happy to answer any questions and make the information as widely available as possible.
Gosh, you make such a thing so complicated, really simple. Well, not simple, but as simple as it can be. Kelly, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much, Milo. I really appreciate it and enjoy seeing you again. Thank you.
Great. You bet. I'm happy to have you here. And for those listening, if you'd like to be a guest on Business Advantage or see other episodes, visit businessadvantage.xyz. If you'd like to learn about improving your public speaking skills, well, visit the homepage for me, miloshapiro.com. miloshapiro.com. Till then, I am Milo Shapiro, wishing you good health, good times, and good business. Take care.
Thank you.